So hello everybody, hope everybody's having a good weekend. What I want to talk about, finish up chapter 5 today. And where we left off is we were talking about some of the ratios, okay, that we normally see on different types of companies. And we left off with the total debt to total asset ratio. And this is a measure of how much debt, percentage debt you have compared to all your assets. And you can see in this case when you go through the math, and this is an average, right, for 2 years. You see that? They take 2 years for everything, and you can see 61% of your debt as a percentage of your total assets is quite high. That's a lot of debt. So I mean, this is something that you have to take into account. This would even in your personal life, if you got 61% of your assets is in debt. Most people have that because they have a big mortgage on the house and they're mortgaged out. But total debt to total asset is simply how much debt I have compared to all my assets. If your only asset is your house, right, and it's mortgaged, then you go basically almost 100%. All right, so the equity multiplier again now is how much assets, how much assets am I creating with the money I borrowed from the stockholders? All right, so we talked about this in class. For every dollar from the stockholders' equity I created, I've multiplied it in assets by 2.6 times. You want to see that? So I'm making good use of the money I'm borrowing. It's like if you borrowed money for a house and the house went up, right? You're quite happy about that. All right, so here's basically what percentage of my total debt is in short-term or current liabilities, right? So if you look at this equation, average current liabilities over average total debt, you'll find that 64% of my total debt is in short-term current liability, and that appears a little high, right? You might want to cut that back a little, as you can see. So. All right, this ratio called the interest coverage ratio, this is telling me how much I have in interest over by my earnings. So out of all my earnings, I basically can cover my interest payments 3.2 times, which is nice, and that's sufficient, right? So I have enough earning 3.2 times the interest I owe out to the bondholders. Okay, so this is either called the coupon or the interest that's got to be paid to the bondholder, and I have sufficient, 3.2 times to cover that. So that's good. That's good, right? I said we were going to skip this one, so we'll skip slide 20 here. All right, so here's just a table. This is just a table that shows the different ratios we calculated from 2015 to 2016, and the impact on my leverage. Leverage is how much I leave it out, right? So you can see I'm increasing my leverage because all these ratios are going up. Increase. Now the interest coverage, even though it's gone down, that means I have less to cover the interest, so I'm leave it out a little bit more, right? But you'll notice, and we're not going to cover, I guess, fixed charges coverage. But you can clearly see here that even though this has gone down compared to everything that's gone up, right, that means I have less to cover my interest. So I'm leave it out a little bit more. All right, so we're going to look now at the profitability ratios, right? And the profitability ratios indicate how efficiently a venture controls its expenses, right? All right, so the gross profit margin, I kind of mentioned in class, right? And the best that could ever be is 100%, right? Because if you didn't pay anything to build something and you could do it for free, for the most part, this would be 0. So net sales over net sales is 1. But in this case, your gross profit margin is about 33%, or almost 34%. It's, so basically, you're making 34 cents on the dollar for every sale that you generate. All right, the operating profit margin, and we're marching down the income statement, right? Earnings before interest and taxes over net sales is about 8 cents on the dollar, right? And all of these get pulled up with the interest. These two get pulled up with the interest. So now we're on the very bottom. Here's the very bottom of the income statement. Here's the very top. Therefore, we basically were making 3 cents on the dollar profit. And then some of that's got to get out of the share. If you take it. All right, the interest tax shield is EBIT, right? Earnings before interest and taxes. And this is before tax, right? This is what the interest tax shield is providing, like people who have a house that we talked about, right? They write off their property taxes and they write off their interest. So that's important there. Sales to total asset ratio. So this is basically how efficiently am I using my assets to generate sales. So basically for every dollar in asset I have, I'm generating about 1.6. Somewhere between that sales. So I'm making good use for the most part of my assets to generate sales. I'm pretty efficient with regards to my sales. All right, so again, now my net profit over my total assets. How am I doing generating profits with regards to my total assets? And this probably could be a little high. So for every dollar in asset I have, I'm making about almost 5 cents on the dollar of my total assets. Obviously, you want that to be as high as heck, right? Because you want to make great net profits. Be efficient with your assets. All right, so we kind of zoomed over this in class, but the return on asset model is simply net profit over sales times net sales over average total assets. And so if you take these two ratios, we'll just simply find these 4 numbers. What you'll find is, in this case, like sales cancel sales, right? And you're left with net profit over average total assets, just what we calculated in the previous slide. So let me see that, right? 4.8. So sometimes you have 2 ratios and you can just multiply them. So that's good. All right, so now again, how am I using my equity that I borrowed from the shareholders to generate income? So for every dollar in equity that I borrowed, I'm generating about 12.5 cents on the dollar in net income. You probably would like that to be as high as possible, right? Because you want the net income to be large. You'd want to be as efficient as possible with the equity, the owner's equity. All right, and again, you could generate the same number by having different ratios. Here we have net profit over sales times net sales over average total assets times average total assets over average equity. So sales cancel sales, assets cancels assets, and you look at net profit over equity. But again, you could just multiply the 3 ratios that you have in the deficit, right? Multiply the 3 ratios. Either way, it comes out the same, right? Numerator and denominator cancel. Now here's a table with all the ratios we talked about and how they affect profitability, and depending on so it looks like from 2000 to 2016 you're going to be less profitable here, right? You can see the numbers are going down here, right? So it's still impacting profitability. All right, and here's a total comparable analysis of the industry as a whole. As I mentioned, you can get these numbers for the industry from the databases at Melville Weiler. And so basically, here's the comparison of 2016 to the industry, and you can see which ones are on. All right, so that's really about it. I'll probably be posting. Maybe I get a chance. I'll start posting chapter 6 videos. All right, so everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy your Columbus Day, and as usual. If you have any questions, you can just do. Alrighty, all the best.